The destruction more than a third houses in Gaza do Israel's Ng region in pursuit. Hamas leads international law experts to bring up concept domicide, which means mass destruction. Houses make region uninhabitable. In the current Gaza war, which was launched following the Hamas attack on southern Israel on October 7, independent experts estimate that 40 of homes in Gaza have been damaged or destroyed. The UN says 1.8 million people in Gaza are internally displaced, most living in overcrowded UN shelters. The south, although Gaza was damaged in previous conflicts and rebuilt largely with money from Gulf countries, the current extent of destruction is on a different scale. The question is whether extent infrastructure damage is byproduct efforts to hunt down Hamas, or part a secret plan to expel Palestinians from Gaza, eliminating the possibility Gaza ever becoming semi-viable society in foreseeable future. Fratricide, concept increasingly accepted in academic world, is not separate crime against humanity under international law, and UN Special Rapporteur on Right to Housing submitted report to UN in October last year, suggesting very significant protection gap was required. The houses Aleppo during Syrian civil war, destruction of Rohingya settlements Myanmar and Mariupol Ukraine have increased interest subject. Recent years. UN Rapporteur Balakrishnan Rajagopal, a professor of law, said there is a need to address hostilities that are carried out with the knowledge that they will systematically destroy and damage civilian housing and infrastructure, making an entire city, such as Gaza City, uninhabitable for civilians. He told The Guardian at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston. Rajagopal argues that there is a gap in international law. Although protection of civilians' homes is covered by the Rome Statute establishing international criminal court for war crimes in conflicts between states, but it not included among crimes against humanity. The emergence of a conflict within a state or involving non-state actors. This is about mass destruction of housing in the event of Israeli-Palestinian conflict in Gaza. Rajagopal said, Israel will say that the conflict is not an international armed conflict because it does not recognize Palestine as a state. He argued that most of conflicts with highest number of deaths since Second World War were non-international armed conflicts, while conflict between Russia and Ukraine was exception rather than rule. A similar hunger-related gap was recently filled. He said, the Roman statute listed starvation as a war crime, but not a crime against humanity, thus exempting non-state actors. Switzerland pushed for changes to the law to make starvation a crime against humanity, and this change was finally implemented in 2022. Rajagopal said, I call on countries like South Africa and Spain that oppose what's happening in Gaza to do exactly what they did with starvation to address the protection gap and ensu.